are the symptoms?
Well, the symptoms are numbness in your hands, in your legs, in your arms, tingling in your arms, in your legs. Also, blurry vision, muscle weakness. It all depends on the person.
Right. I hope the listeners are listening. When the doctor first diagnosed you, Ebony, with it, how did it come about? Because it's a fatal disease, right?
Yes.
How did it come about saying that you won't have long to live? How you come to that conclusion?
Actually, I wanted to thank Dream Foundation and Montel. They are the ones.
Okay, you're talking about the Montel Williams, the show Montel Williams?
Yes.
So you been on that show?
Yes.
Oh, we got a superstar in here. All right, well, tell us about that experience and how did that come about? You was on the show actually.
Yes, he actually came to our house.
Same house that I came to when I met y'all at?
Yes.
Montel Williams was there?
Yes.
All right then.
And he came to our house to film because I couldn't fly.
Oh, okay.
So he came to
brought
us.
his whole film crew?
Yes.
Okay.
When he looked at me, he knew I didn't have it. And because he felt that it wasn't similar, so he got his doctors to look at my records, which...
He knew that you didn't have MS?
Montel felt that.
Yeah, right, okay.
And he got his doctor to look at my records. His doctor was from Johns Hopkins. So his doctor came here, looked at my records, offered some tests. The test came back with this. What I want people to know is, don't just go on what one doctor say. If you feel something not right, get a second, get a third, get a fourth opinion, because it can save your life. Luckily, he was put into my life for that short period of time to get things rolling. And once it got rolling, that's all she wrote.
All right, sister said once it got rolling, that's all she wrote up in here. With Honest Opinion, just tuning in to Honest Opinion, we're talking about the life and the second chances. We have in the studio with us, we have Miss Ebony Major, who you just heard on the radio. She's a survivor of a rare disease called DeVix. We have Mr. Eddie Bennett, a survivor of a 27-year prison sentence, including death row. Charlene Simmons, who assisted her uncle in a life of second chances. And this is Hakeem the Dream, the host, and Jarvis Alameen, the Honest Opinion. I tell you, it is now about 9:14. You said it right. It's a promo that comes on WTMP, say, question the doctor. Keep questioning, asking questions, and you confirm that. And so, tell me now, once he came, I'm going to go to the other guests, but I still want to know, how did the doctors come about saying that the disease was going to be fatal, and how that made you feel? And now you sit here with articulating that message so clearly.
Well, before I even found out I had disease, they gave up on me.
How about that?
And it's a horrible feeling, because a lot of these doctors, y'all need to learn bedside manner. It's a certain way to say things to a patient.
Well, I'm telling you now. Go ahead, sister.
People out there, y'all got to have faith. Regardless of what these doctors tell you, whoever, you got to know that you got to stay strong for your family, for yourself. And that's what I kept in mind, that I got 2 kids. I still got to try to help raise them to be productive citizens. And I can't just give up. So, Montel, the Dream Foundation, they came right on time. And I was in hospice.
You got to be kidding.
So y'all know hospice.
Wait, hold on, Hakeem. Well, let me tell you something. If you go, ain't nobody we know Hakeem been to hospital. Came out of hospital.
You don't go to hospital.
You don't come out of hospital. No. This is the life and the second chances. I'm telling you, I just had a brother die of colon cancer. He refused to go to hospice. He went home and passed away. Hospices, and we had another Muslim brother not long ago, about a year ago now, right? Brother Salim. You don't come out of hospice. You was in hospice?
Yes.
And you kept the faith knowing that, hey, I'm gonna survive this. I gotta have a second chance. I got 2 kids out there.
That's faith.
I got this.
Faith of a mustard seed.
Right.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Right.
Oh my God, it is wonderful and informative up in here. It's educational up in here this morning. You better get to the telephones, and if you got some kind of sickness and you ain't talking to your doctor, and now she said something, King, that got me. She said, y'all need to learn bedside manners. Don't be saying anything when you go visiting people at the hospital. Learn bedside manners. Sister, thank you for coming to the show. We really appreciate it. I'm going to move now to my dear friend, and we're going to flow from a life of second chances now to what you can really stop getting yourself in problem with this prison sentence. Come on, jump in there, Eddie. Eddie, tell your story, brother. What was the conditions of prison when you went there from reception that Lake Butler? Come to walk us through that till you end up on death row.
Well, when you first go in there, they treat you like you're an animal. They make you hold your rectum open for about 5 minutes. They degrade you as a man. They put you in a situation where you just want to give up on just life. And then when I looked at my situation when I went in there with 40 years, I said, now, how can I do 40 years? And I said, now I'm gonna ever get at this place. But after I got the rolling, I said, after I did 10 years, I said, well, I guess I'm gonna make it. And after I did 20 more years, I said, I'm asleep. Then they put me on death row to work there. And after looking at a killer, a murderer, a rapist, a child molester, right in the eye, they just like me. They're human beings. And then they put me in the hospital. That's when I felt, my compassion for a human being. And I said, well, I don't want to die there.
So you saw a lot of people that died there.
Died in my arms.
Died in your arms.
Yeah.
And tell us about that experience. I mean, were you there as working as an orderly, working with the...
I was an orderly, working on death row. Guys that committed some horrible crimes that I had to bathe, that I had to just take care of these guys, Guys that had severe disease, And I just said, if I ever get sick, I want somebody to take care of me. And it wasn't all about, just a guy that's in prison, If I just ever got sick, I wanted somebody to look after me. But I didn't want to die in there.
At that time, you looked at him as a human being and not as a murderer, a thief, a robber, things of that nature. That title didn't have no play on the needs of providing humanitarian to another human being. This is what I believe that you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. And my thing is, after being in there so long, I started watching my kids coming down.
Wow. That's had to be real sad, my brother.
And
how many kids do you have, sir?
I got 9 kids. And my thing is, to all you young guys out there who think you're balling, you ain't seen nothing till you get in prison.
And let me just ask you this, and we're gonna move on for a minute. Briefly, tell me about the 18 months that you did in solitary confinement. That had to be difficult. Coming out 1 hour a day, take a bath, walk up and through the wall, and you got 23 hours a day in solitude. How can you do it? 18 months, that's almost 2 years. Tell me about that. Our listeners too.
One thing you need to understand is that, when you're doing 18 months in confinement for no reason, that's what hurts you the most, when you know you ain't done nothing to be there. And the painful part about it, the person that put you there, he's walking around free.
So, you're back to your children now. Before we get on the air, you made mention you have 3 sons now. that's incarcerated?
I got 3 sons now incarcerated. I tried to talk to them about that road that, it's going to be rough if you ever get caught up in this mess. But they didn't want to believe me. I've been in a situation where I've seen young men get raped right in front of me, but ain't nothing I can do about it. I've seen young men get killed. Ain't nothing I can do about it. So I tell all you young men, y'all think y'all tough out on these streets? It's tough in there.
All right, one last thing before I go to the phone lines, because they already burning up the phone lines. Warn our young women for getting involved with these brothers coming out of penitentiary, because the brothers involved in sexual activities in prison that end up HIV is running rampant in the African American community on young black women, and it's coming from the brothers getting out of the penitentiary. Warn our sisters, this is a public service announcement. This is a news alert for you. Man getting out of prison, you better use the proper protection. Tell them about it, Mr. Bennett.
You young women better get some protection. Them young guys in there are bad. It's bad in there. It's bad in there. Young men going with young men like this. It's wild in there. I mean, they kissing them. I mean, they loving them like they love you on the streets. I'm telling you just how it is. They loving them like they loving you on the streets. Like they love you on the street, they loving them just like that in there.
It's got to be
sad.
So, Mr. Bennett,
It's got to be
goes
told.
back to our subject of today's discussion, life and its second chances. You was blessed and fortunate to come through that, and I'm sure that on the end you're going to tell us a success story of what you're doing now, and we're very, very happy to know that you took advantage of the second chances.
All right, let's go to the phone line. Welcome to Honest Opinion, keeping it real, making it happen. What say you, caller?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Brothers, what a touching subject today. So now here's my testimony. It was the year 2008, October 1st to be precise. I was sitting on my porch after getting off from voters register now, kicking it around with a couple of friends. At the time I did not realize that there had been gang violence in my neighborhood, unbeknownst to me. So I'm sitting there and I see a gang of guys riding up on bicycles, and they start shooting. I'm thinking it's firecrackers right around me. I'm like, whoa. So I was blessed to be able to live down the street from paramedics, which rushed me to the hospital and did emergency surgery on my stomach. I stayed in the hospital for 45 days, where they took out my spleen and my gallstone. But I'm here to tell you about a second chance. I'm still above us instead of under. In that period of time that I stayed in that hospital at Tampa General, I got to see 3 things I never thought I would see. I got to see my 50th birthday. I got to see something we never thought we'd see in this lifetime. A black president elected. And I became a grandfather for the first time. Now, when you talk about second chances, you talking about a realization that knowing you could have been here today and gone tomorrow. I'm still here today, and I thank God.
All right, then. Brother said I got a real life of second chance, and he really hit it. Thank you so much, caller, for that. Let us go now. I just want to tell you where you can follow us at. Follow us, please, on Facebook at Honest Opinion Radio. Follow us on YouTube at Honest Opinion Radio. The call-in number here is 813-251-9867, 813-251-9867. If you want to text us and comments or questions to our guests while we're on the air now, 813-787-6652. Just a little PR announcement. Voter Empowerment Rally this coming Tuesday at 2 o'clock with the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the National Civil Rights Leader. It's going to be over at 34 Church of God, 3000 North 34th Street. If you want further information, you can call 813-505-9120. That's Yvette Lewis, the NAACP Political Action Chair. Also, I want to thank those who came out last Thursday to the Eastern Heights Neighborhood Association. Mr. Sam Mobley, Brenda, Miss Timms, Dolores, and Reverend Nunn invited me to give tips on home safety over at the Eastern Heights Neighborhood Association. Thank you for coming out. All right. Honest Opinion, keeping it real, making it happen, AM 1150 and 96.1 FM, and streaming live from WTMP.com.